I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. All right, enough of me singing. Irving Berlin would not be pleased. So here's the deal. What is a white Christmas? Well, everybody may have a different definition, but by meteorological standards, 1 inch of snow must be on the ground in order to qualify as a white Christmas. Doesn't have to be snowing that day. Of course, that helps, but you need at least 1 inch of snow on the ground. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to have one of my colleagues talk about how much actual snow there is in various parts of Chicagoland. But in my little outpost here in northern Lake County, we got hit pretty hard from those storms that started the weekend after November. And then pretty much every weekend after that, we just kept getting hammered with snow. Speaking of hammers, the reason why I have this out here. So there's still quite a bit of snow on the ground that will have to melt in order, with very little snow in the forecast, if any, that will have to go away to erase it being a white Christmas. Well, there are several factors that contribute to how fast snow melts, regardless of the temperature. Obviously, if it's much warmer, snow is going to melt more quickly. But it is the character of the snow which also helps determine how fast the snow is going to melt. So where I am right now, parts of my yard, this is a glacier. This stuff is so compacted down here, it's very hard for me to bash into it, even using this meat tenderizer. There are a few other parts of the yard where the snow is a little bit more powdery, perhaps, where it's been less compacted. Well, that type of snow, the icy, hard glacier, as I like to call it, turns out that because there's less air in between all of those pieces of snow, is very, very difficult to melt. It requires more heat energy to melt that dense snow. If you have fresh powdery snow, that tends to melt much more quickly. Here's another interesting fact. Dirty snow will melt more quickly than clean snow. Why? Because dirty snow is darker. There's a factor of snow, really any surface, called albedo. How reflective is it? Snow, very, very reflective. So a fresh snow that's clean is going to be a colder snow than snert. We see it here in Chicagoland. It's that stuff that gets plowed up, and all of this beautiful snow right after it falls turns into this icky gray bleh. But interestingly, that snert is going to melt more quickly than the clean snow will. So, what type of snow do you have in your yard? How deep is it? Is there a chance that you might still have 1 inch on the ground around Christmas? Well, why don't we find out how much snow there's actually left right now in the area?
All right, let's talk snowpack. So across the region out there right now, we're looking at 2 to 6 inches of snowpack for most of the Chicagoland area. But there's a couple outliers. Across the far west, we're still seeing about a 6 to 8 inch base. But this is really going to begin to melt away in the coming days because we have warmer temperatures in store for us. So the hope of the white Christmas, I have my doubts on whether or not we're actually going to make it there, because temperatures tomorrow and into the following day going to be above the freezing mark. In fact, we're staying above freezing until Friday. But do you see that 46 degrees expected on Thursday? That's also coming along with rain. So that's going to kind of expedite the process here, the melting process for us late this week. And any snow that does survive all the way through Friday, notice how most days going into Christmas week are looking at above freezing high temperatures. And by the Christmas holiday, we could actually be close to 40 degrees. So I have my doubts on a white Christmas this year, but it's all going to depend on how quickly the snowpack can melt.